Jiu-Jitsu is a martial art that is growing exponentially in popularity, but the unfortunate reality is that the vast majority of people who will join will also end up quitting. There are a few different reasons as to why most Jiu-Jitsu academies will experience a high turnover with their students. One of the biggest reasons that people discontinue training is because of injuries, which are inevitable and will come your way eventually. Another big reason is because it isn't a top priority in people's lives, and when life gets busy, Jiu-Jitsu is the first thing that falls. It's quite a shame that when life gets crazy, most people will drop the thing that keeps them healthy and can act as an outlet to channel their frustrations. And many people simply fail to stick with it long enough to get through the first initial phase of Jiu-Jitsu, which is the one where you get tapped out by everybody and none of your techniques seem to work. It takes courage to begin something new that is as challenging as Jiu-Jitsu, and it requires even more courage to keep coming back when you're not seeing a lot of progression and getting beat up in most classes. The first 4 to 6 months serve as a filter for the ones who are serious about long-term progression in Jiu-Jitsu. This relentless beginning phase is inevitable, and it makes no exceptions for anybody. The vast majority of people begin training Jiu-Jitsu because they want to learn how to defend themselves and their loved ones. And while any training at all is better than none, the sad reality is that most people don't stick with it long enough to develop the technical proficiency that is required to become a competent practitioner. It takes an immense amount of time, dedication, and effort to form a high understanding of anything, and with a martial art as complex as Jiu-Jitsu, this is especially true. It takes the average practitioner anywhere from 8 years to 12 years to earn a black belt. Some can do it sooner, others it takes much longer. And along the way, you will absolutely question your own ability to do it. You will question the strength of your character, and you will inevitably get injured along the way. Most people who set out to achieve this goal, unfortunately, will not achieve it. However, there are proactive measures that you can take to prevent yourself from becoming just another statistic and another person who didn't quite make it. The most important factor in getting longevity out of your training is to work diligently to prevent injuries. Injuries are to be expected in a sport as dangerous as Jiu-Jitsu, but at the same time, there are proactive measures that you can take to reduce your chances of getting hurt. The number one thing that you can do to prevent injuries is being comfortable with getting tapped out on a regular basis. There will always be somebody who is better than you, somebody that will always have a better understanding of the position that you're in, and there will always need to be adjustments made to your techniques. You can expect to get tapped out 10,000 times before you make it to black belt. All we can do is simply accept this and continue training. There's always something new to learn in Jiu-Jitsu, and the people who can tap you out are the ones that are there to teach you. Tap early, tap often, and enjoy a lifetime of training. Another approach you can take is to continuously remain a student of the game. Always look to develop new techniques, and always look to find more efficient ways to perform the same techniques that you've worked on for years. Now, this is not to be confused with attempting to master every single technique. Your primary game should be reduced down to a small minority of techniques that you have attained exceptional technical proficiency in. It is impossible to master everything, but you can master a small minority of moves. But realize that even after attaining mastery, you should always still be looking for ways to improve those techniques. However, refusing to add new techniques to your game can also make you predictable. Jiu-Jitsu can get dull and boring if you're not learning any new techniques. If you're doing the same things that you've always done, you can make your grappling experience a little dull, which is why it is absolutely essential to be always seeking improvement and always be constantly refining and improving your techniques. Know that you will subconsciously fall back to your primary moves when the pressure comes on and a roll gets hard, but by adding new techniques or new ways of doing old things, you can always be catching people by surprise. third, and likely the most effective tip that I have for training for the long term, is to always remember the reason as to why you started. Maybe you started training because you wanted to learn how to defend yourself and your loved ones. Or maybe you wanted to get yourself into much better physical conditioning. Perhaps you needed a new hobby, and Jiu Jitsu serves as a fantastic opportunity to make new friends and socialize. Your reason why you're doing something is the light in the dark when you have lost your way. Your why is the reason why you do what you should do even on the days you don't want to. It is a powerfully motivating force that can effectively combat the resistance that you may be feeling at that moment. It's also the best case scenario if you have many reasons as to why you're doing what you're doing. Many reasons to get up in the morning and pursue your greatness. The more reasons that you have as to why you should stick to doing your work, you will be much more likely to commit to doing it over the long term. Personally, my biggest why to show up and train every day is to develop my personal character. Developing the strength of my character so that one day I can be strong enough to extend the hand and take care of other people. I would love for my family to one day look up at me and admire the strength of my character and my moral virtues. The character that was built and developed through a lifetime of training Jiu-Jitsu. And it doesn't end there. We have all been put here for an individual reason, and it's not to simply exist. We all have been given a gift of value to share and to create an impact in the world. I know the value that Jiu-Jitsu has had on my life, and I would love to create that opportunity for other people. I owe a lot of who I am to the art of Jiu-Jitsu, and there's no way that I would be the same without it. It's changed my life for the better, and that's why I plan to stick to it for the remainder of my life. Remember to never give up on the person that you could become. It's not just about you. Your family, your friends, and the rest of the world needs the best version of you. So go out there and develop it. Thank you everybody for watching my video. If you're able to get some value out of it, please consider subscribing, liking the video, and sharing it with other people who you believe would get some value out of it as well. It helps my channel grow and gives me more incentive to keep making these videos and providing more value for you guys. So if you liked it, please share it with other people, and yeah, look forward to more videos. Thank you.